Alright guys, so today I want to go over the Mage build revisited in Chronicle 1 of Wolcen. Basically this is another build that is very viable, and it is not a Havoc Orb or an Arctic Spear build. Yes, Arctic Spear is a spell, but for this video I just want to really make a pure Mage build, well, as pure as possible. I am using Blood for Blood. You do not need to use it at all. Um, let's go into some gameplay and we'll see what this is all about. So basically, a very, very powerful, just mage build, really.
It's not possible.
It will not be as fast as Havoc Orb or Arctic Spear, but it feels very, very good to play, and it is super powerful. It completely melts bosses and elites. I can just find one so I can show you. Basically, as usual, I go in with Lightbringer, I Anomaly, and I have one Liver Mortis for more tankiness. You could use 2, you could use 3, like, really, whatever you want. Just as long as you're tanky enough.
Can't manage that way.
Okay, so there's a pack of elites here. I'm just gonna wait for my cooldown here, Lightbringer. Basically, as always, go in, stun them, cast everything. I cast also Blood for Blood. Really powerful. Like, Thunderstrike is super powerful.
No.
Just completely melts elites. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the build. For the gameplay section. Basically, always make sure you have your Liver Mortis up to get your damage reduction. And Thunderstrike is your main damaging ability. You got Anomaly and Lightbringer for crowd control. And you got Blood for Blood to increase your attack speed. Well, your spell casting speed, actually. So Blood for Blood, as you can see, your spell casting speed can get to a ridiculous amount. 225 attack, spell casting speed. You're attacking super fast. When you are attacking super fast, though, keep in mind that your willpower will... you will need a lot of transfer time if you want to have no black bar. But this build doesn't need willpower, this build doesn't need that much transfer time. It does not need that much cooldown. So unless you're using Blood for Blood really all the time and trying to go super, super, super fast, you won't need that much. So that's pretty much it for this gameplay section, and we'll go into the stats, the passive tree, and everything, the skills. So first of all, the skills. The only most important skills are Aether Jump, Anomaly, Lightbringer, and Thunderstrike. Liver Mortis and Blood for Blood, you don't really need them for the build. You could use something else. Still that I like to use, Solar Fall, if I'm going for a crit build, because this is okay. So we don't have ferocity in this build, guys. Okay, let's go over the skills. Aether Jump, this is my current setup. I like to use reduce the cooldown,
Not right now.
so I can just jump around pretty much all the time. This one as well, Void Paralysis to get the stasis on enemies. So we got maximum range, willpower cost, attack and spell casting speed, Aether Jump removes crowd control, and increase your movement speed. Pretty basic stuff. Then we have Anomaly. So yeah, Aether Jump we use with this one to inflict stasis, so that we get stasis on which time cannot heal, and we get 15% more damage. And we also get one more Immortal Offering stack with this. I also use Anomaly for stasis, because we do want to get all the time the 15% from which time cannot heal. So increase area of effect, weapon damage. Enemies, when they are pulled, they get damaged. You get plus the duration. It pulls multiple times, so it will deal damage multiple times. And then you have 2 vortexes active simultaneously. So when you're going fast, you can cast one here, kill a couple mobs, go here, cast another one right away, even if the cooldown is not down yet, right? So very, very good. And we have the stasis as well. Lightbringer, we want to have, it is shock right now, so it is a lightning Lightbringer. Area of effect deals damage. We got more ailment chance because yes, we do want to have some ailment chance. I'll go over why we do want that. Gives a boost to your all res score per enemy hit with Lightbringer. This buff is actually huge. Like this will give you a lot of survivability. Stuns with you stun with Lightbringer, it adds a cooldown. Very good for breaking enemies' break bar, which is the blue bar under their health. Once they're broken, they stop moving and they take increased damage. So with this build, you can pretty much stun and then just one-shot them. Like not one-shot, but one-cycle them in one stun bar if you have enough damage. And then increase the damage from Lightbringer as well. We got Liver Mortis, basic stuff, basically for the 30% damage reduction from this one. Generational Grief. So if you feel the need that if you feel the need to survive more, you can grab Liver Mortis and this will mitigate some damage. You can grab 2 Liver Mortises, 3, however you want. So we just go for health, 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 and then it gets a portion of the damage that is dealt to you. You can use 2 or 3 or 1. Blood for blood. So this one is used for this buff. Feed on pain. You get a buff to your attack speed and spell casting speed per enemy killed within the area of effect. So the trick with blood for blood is if you cast it and your cursor is on an enemy, it will actually cast on him. See, now you can even cast it on your summon, right? So what you want to do is make sure that your cursor is nowhere near any enemy. I like to just cast it away like so, and then it will cast on you. Also make sure not to roll too fast, because if you do this and you roll right away, the area will actually stay where before where you rolled. But yeah, it gives you a small damage boost, and then you get this one too. Then you get the 30% chance to have enemy dies instantly. I did not really test this one. I don't know if it actually works, but you know, why not have it here? So you gotta increase your health regen per enemy hit, increase area of effect. You get reduced movement speed for the enemies in here. This is not needed. It's just that there's nothing else to take. It follows the target that it was used on, so it follows you ideally, and then you get more skill duration. And then we got the bread and butter of this build is Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike is an incredibly powerful spell. Yeah, I just have good words about Thunderstrike, really. It's just incredible. Absolutely a beast of a skill. So we grab a couple of skill weapon damage here. Okay, one thing to note with Thunderstrike. Cast a spell that bounces between enemies, dealing increased damage for each subsequent enemy hit. This thing, increased damage for each enemy hit, only works with Thunderstrike as a lightning spell. If you use it as Shadow, as Rend, or Frost, it will actually deal less damage for each subsequent enemy hit. So this is, I believe it is absolutely a bug. So lightning does increase damage, less damage, less damage, less damage. So yeah, use the lightning one. So more damage here, and then these 3 nodes are the bread and butter. Increased Thunderstrike critical chance when it deals damage to shocked enemies. So you want to have the enemy shocked. So this is why you need some ailment chance. You need to have good ailment chance here for shock. So I have 34% shock ailment chance. This node basically makes it 100% chance to critical hit when you hit an enemy that is shocked. So that is why I am not going for ferocity here. No ferocity at all. You can go full toughness, you can go full agility, you could go full wisdom if you wanted, or you can go for a mixed match of anyone's. So agility obviously would be the better one for DPS, toughness for survivability, and wisdom you just need enough to inflict shock very consistently. Since we're using blood for blood and we're getting tons of attack speed with this, I don't feel the need to push agility too much, so I just split between all 3. So 100% crit chance if you hit an enemy that is shocked. Super powerful. Then this one, there's a chance that lightning will strike from the sky to damage enemies hit by Thunderstrike. This one basically does another, it doubles the damage from Thunderstrike when it procs, and then this one as well. Critical hits with Thunderstrike cause lightning to strike nearby enemies. I think this one also does the same damage as Thunderstrike. So it's like damage, 2 times the damage and 3 times the damage. It's really powerful. Yeah, so that's it for Thunderstrike. That's it for the skills. We went over the stats. So no ferocity because we're not going crit because we have 100% crit with this. Just split between toughness, agility, and wisdom. So survivability, damage, and damage as well, I guess, to proc your crit chance. And then we can go over the gear that I have. I am using Frostweave right now. You don't need to use Frostweave. I believe it might be really good though because of the 15 elemental damage multiplier and 20 crit damage. Although you don't need the other passive that increases your crit chance with your element chance. You don't really need that. Okay, so most important is going to be getting a good weapon. You want a good weapon with elemental rolls. You could play this this will still be good even if you play non-elemental with other ones like this. Shadow has an interesting thing here with Veiled Eclipse. So shadow-based spells use rage instead of willpower. This used to not work in vanilla, but it now works with Frenzied Blows. So skills have a 100% rage cost when rage is over 750, but they deal double damage. So if you change this to Shadow and you equip the Veiled Eclipse Pants, this could deal double damage as long as you're over 750 rage. And it will use rage instead of willpower. You see, it uses rage. So there are many things that you could do with Veiled Eclipse. Very interesting pants, especially that now that they work with spells and frenzied blows. But you need very good resource management to do this. So I don't use them. I tried it. I don't really like it. It's too much management, honestly. But I mean, it will be the better damage. Maybe not with Thunderstrike because this reduces. It reduces the damage from each bounce. So that's pretty terrible. Okay, this was like this. Damage, damage, damage. So you want a good weapon. You don't need transfer time. Most important stats are going to be high damage and crit damage. That's pretty much what you need on here. Yes, you could go for transfer time. Yes, you could go for element chance, like occult element chance or something like that. Oh no, elemental element chance to get even more shocked. But yeah, you want a good weapon that is what is going to scale your damage a lot, and you want to have a good catalyst as well. Ideally, 2 flats and spell damage, and then you have so you can get. I would like to get crit damage on here. I don't have it. Spell crit chance score is wasted for this build, so you could get spell casting speed and elemental element chance or something like that. For your rings and amulets and the belt as well. So trial belt, obviously the best choice, but if you don't, it's pretty much the same as rings and amulets. You want as much flat to spells, percentage damage, percentage elemental damage, crit damage, spell casting speed. Spell casting speed is actually very good here because of our agility stat that will increase the number of ticks we get with Thunderstrike. Get them as fast as possible. Yeah, so basically something like these. Like I have double spells, elemental damage, and transfer time. So this is actually my gear for Arctic Spear. Most of it is my gear for Arctic Spear. I changed a couple of pieces here and there, but yeah, it's still fairly good, fairly good. So for shoulders and gloves, you want percentage damage or percentage elemental damage. So these stats, percentage damage, you get them in hunts. So these are the tributary items which have one enhanced stat and one malice stat. So you would want to have damage, rage and willpower cost reduction, because yes, rage and willpower cost reduction, because with blood for blood, you will get so much attack speed that you will eat through your willpower so fast. So damage, ailment chance, and dodge would you want as prefix. So we are going for dodge on our for our defenses. So dodge would be very important in this build. And then you will want as suffix, you want main stat, you want spell casting speed, you can't get that with Bruiser gear. You can only get it with Sorcerer or Rogue gear. So spell casting speed would be nice, and yeah, that's pretty much what you want. And then you got the helm. So helm, chest, pants. Oh yes, actually, these are the same stats that you want for the boots, except on boots you want movement speed as well, obviously. For the helm, chest, and pants, as I said, you do not need Frostweave. It is not needed. It is nice to have though, I think, because of the 15% LA damage multiplier. And on top of that, with this build, you don't really need cooldown and you don't really need transfer time that much. So pretty nice to have. Oh yes, you could get willpower regen on some gear here. Willpower regen is pretty nice. You can socket it in support 2 socket. So this will increase your base willpower regen. Basically here, willpower regen 92.5 per second. So let's say I use a lot.
Can't manage that right now.
It is going to be the speed at which I passively regenerate my willpower. So you can basically sustain your willpower very easily with this. So you want damage, you want obviously dodge chance, and well, not dodge chance, but dodge crit chance score and ailment chance score. As much as you can, ailment chance and dodge, guys, because you want to inflict shock as consistently as possible. And the more you have on here, the more you can invest in agility or toughness. And then as suffixes, basically, no, you could still go for some cooldown because it will reduce the cooldown from your Lightbringer, so from your stun and from anomaly and stuff like that. But it is not absolutely needed. It is not absolutely needed. Just go for all the damaging stuff. So basically damage and main stat. Same thing goes for all of these. I like to use Rogue as helm and chest because we are using Salvatary Anchor with dodge. So, okay, yes, no. You would want to have rogue gear here and a chest with double health rolls actually. Double health. So flat health and percentage health because you want to have Salvatary Anchor. And with rogue pieces on passive dodge, you regenerate health and force shield equivalent to 2 times the health value. So this is very, very important. It is the best defensive node that there is in the whole passive tree right now. It is Salvatary Anchor, the node past it, with rogue gear and double health rolls. It will make you practically invincible. So I don't even have health here, and I only have my flat health on Frostweave. So if you want to be really, really tanky, just grab 2 rogue pieces with double health rolls, and you'll be super tanky. Here is pretty much the same as shoulders and gloves. You know, you're gonna go for the damage, for the dodge, for the ailment chance, and then you can go for stuff like cooldown transfer time main stat or cooldown spell casting speed main stat, something like that. So that is pretty much it for the gear, and then we'll go over the passive tree. So here we start off, we go to the dodge, cover the purdive, 100% passive dodge chance score after being hit. Keep in mind this is not fully optimized. It does work very nicely, but I could change a lot of things here. But this does work pretty nicely. I go here, I grab the 15% elemental damage here just for more damage, more spell damage here. I go here, and I go grab Witch Time Cut on Heal for the 15% increase in damage when enemies are in stasis, which is inflicted with Aether damage. I go for tankiness here in Dire Juncture. I go for tankiness here in Branded Burst. And I go for more willpower and rage to smooth out the build and have more time to cast a Thunderstrike. I go for damage here, damage here. I go for this one, increased awareness, because we are grabbing Undertaker to get the 30% damage as poison for each globe that we take, and this will grab all the globes that the enemy drops, no matter where they are on the screen. So this is pretty much a whole screen plus 15, and the enemies that drop globes give you increased damage. Then I go here. for Immortal Offerings, basically getting more damage per Immortal Offering stacks. Grievous Afflictions to inflict 2 different elements with 1 attack. As we said, Undertaker. Salvatory Anchor also for the tankiness with the rogue pieces. Rogue pieces with double health, so rogue chest and rogue helm. Then we go Disallowing Vessel. This is a 30% multi. If you don't like you going slow, kind of like this.
It's not possible.
I mean, we are teleporting, so it's not that bad. And for each point, we get 3% damage, true multiplier. So at 10 points, you get a 30% damage increase. So that is why we grabbed this one. You don't need the other one here. You can grab it if you want to get more all res, but we're going for mainly dodge. And then we go here for the 30% crit damage multi, because even though we are not ferocity, we certainly have a 100% crit chance with sequestrated, so it is very good. And then you go for sudden death to kill enemies at 10% of their health, and then you go for Beacon for the Lost because you want to have it will add 35% sacred damage as long as you have over 50% force shield. So, okay, another thing to note, if I had more than 50% of my max health as force shield, I would grab these 2 nodes here. I would grab Purifier's Will to get 30% damage reduction, and I might even go ahead and grab Fate Leech. So, yeah, I could grab Fate Leech and 30% damage reduction when my force shield is full. So this is another combo that I like to use. These 3 nodes, Beacon for the Lost, Purifier's Will, and Fate Leech go very well together. So that is pretty much it for the passive tree. And so we went over the gear, went over the stats, we went over all the skills. There are other skills that you could use, stuff like Solar Fall. If you don't want to go for a Wisdom, Agility, Toughness build, you can still go full Ferocity. If you go full Ferocity, Solar Fall is not bad, honestly. You could use this, and you could use something like Winter's Grasp here, would be fine. A Tear of Ithilien would be also fine. There are multiple other things that you can do, but my preferred setup for now is really 1 Livor Mortis and Blood for Blood. Also, if you don't have the Trial Belt, you can certainly grab Mark of Impurity if you do want so this is pretty much it for the Mage build, guys. Thunder Strike, super powerful ability, incredibly it just blows my mind just how powerful this is. So try it, guys. The Mage build is really fun. It is not as fast as Arctic Spear, obviously, but it is extremely powerful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.